Our last lesson was on adjectives and adverbs. Now, if you're coming from that lesson to this one, this is a very, very important lesson because we're going to discuss determiners, and the major confusion that people have is between using a, an, and the. We will discuss that today. Plus, we will use a lot of words and how they are used. We'll talk about that in today's lesson. Words like this, that, these, many, much, and all of these things. These words are called determiners, and in summary, I'm going to tell you they help you explain the noun in more detail. So we're going to explore these in more detail, and the first thing we're going to start with is articles. Articles, whenever someone says that in the English language, the articles are the, or a, or an. Now, a, an, the major confusion here. We will talk about a and an, the difference about that, in another lesson later on, so please subscribe if you haven't already. I'll also ask you some questions regarding these at the end of this video, so stay tuned to see if you can pass our English challenge. Now, the definition I'm going to give you between a and an will be very similar, so imagine for this video, to make it simple, we're just talking about a, okay? We'll talk about a, and we'll talk about the or the. Now, when it is definite, when it is something you know that you have talked about before, your friend who you're talking to, you guys know about this already, you use the word the. And when you don't know about it, you use a. That's the simple definition. For example, if I say the dog is hungry to you, that means you and I already know this dog. But if I say a cat ate my food, you and I don't know this cat. It's a random cat that just came for the first time today and took my food. So that is the main difference. If it's specific and familiar, it's the. If it's not, it's a. Okay? Remember that key difference between a and the. Once again, here is the definition on that in more detail and some examples. By the way, when I show you guys the definitions, you can pause the video to read them if you would like. The examples here are, there is a new boy in our classroom. Now, we don't know who this new boy is. That's why we're using a, because we are not sure and we're not familiar with this person. When we say, though, I ate the cake from last night, we already know the cake from last night. You saw it, I saw it. That's why we're saying the, because this time it is familiar. Make sense? That is the key difference between a and the. Now let's talk about some more variations of the, this, these, that, those. Okay, so this is for something that is close to me. This is my cell phone. But if it's all the way there at the end, I'm going to say that is my cell phone because I can see it very far from me. That's just the distance. Now when we talk about these and those, it's the same thing. The only difference is these and those is used for plural. So these would be multiple things, plural, multiple things in front of me. So I'm going to say these, but if they're really far, I'm going to say those things right there. Okay, so that has to deal or has to be concerned with the distance, as well as these and those is plural, while this and that is singular. Now pause the video, try to make some sentences with this, that, these, and those, and comment below with your sentences. I'll tell you personally if you're doing it correctly or not. Now let's look at this sentence here. This pizza is so good. This, which means it's one. It also means it's close to me. I can see it. This pizza is so good. Now if I say these breadsticks, again, these means it's close to me, and it's plural, so it's multiple breadsticks, are so delicious. How are those fries? So those means it's far and it's multiple, more than one fry. Okay? That's how you want to practice this. But now let's look at a few more things which we call quantifiers, because these words tell us the story about the quantity of something. So it's some, small, many, which is too much, a lot, too much, a few, a little, that is less. Much is supposed to be used with something much nicer, much lower, much higher. So it defines the quality of whatever you're trying to describe. More is more than, which means it's bigger, not lesser. It's more than usual. So if I eat 2 cakes a day, tomorrow I'm going to eat more than usual. I'm going to eat 4. Most is more than just 1 or more than 2. But in cases where you use most, it's like out of 10 people, 6 of them agree with me. So I'm going to say most agree with me. More than 50% means most. Any is any amount. It doesn't matter. I can have 2 cheesecakes today or 5. Any doesn't matter. So here we're saying the number doesn't matter. It's not less, it's not more, it's any. Here are some examples. There are so many bears in the forest. Now here we're using so many. Many indicates a lot. It's more than usual. That's why we're using the word many. She has some money for you. Now that means there's money that you can get from her, but it's not a lot. It's just some money, so it's limited. Can I have more cake? Now, I already ate some cake. I want more, additional. So you would use the word more in that case. And these words are very handy to quantify the amount of whatever you're trying to describe. Now we also have distributive determiners, which are a little bit more technical, but I'll give you a quick overview here. These words are all, each, every, neither, either. What they do is they help us to refer to a group or a person or things. Here are some examples. Every book has to be put back on the shelf. Now that means if I have 4 books, every, like each one of them, has to be put back in the shelf. So that means don't miss any book. Every single book needs to be put back to the shelf. The next one is all children should have enough food. This means all of them, not just 1 or 2. Everybody in the room, all of them should have enough food. Next one is I will have 1 of each flavor. Now you see 1 of each means if you have 10 flavors, pistachio, mango, strawberry, and so on, you want to get 1 of each. So it's not just 1 flavor, but when you say 1 of each, it means you want all 10 flavors. You want to taste all of them. So very good word to use, and it's a phrase that you can use if you want 1 of each sample or 1 of each flavor. Neither of these things is a good option. Now, neither has many uses, so you want to be careful on how you use this. But in this case, when we're talking about multiple things, could be 2, could be 3, could be 10. You're saying neither of these things is a good option. If you wanted to say it positively, you can say all of them are great options, but you want to try to say or emphasize that I like nothing here. When none of them are a good option for you, you use words like neither. Neither of these are a good option for me, or neither of these things is a good option for me if you're using the plural things defining neither of and then the plural. Let's see if you can make a sentence with neither. It is complicated, so comment down below and I'll check your sentence and correct you if you're wrong. Now, let's look at all of these things together. We talked about adjectives, which are qualities. Pink, fluffy, beautiful. We talked about adverbs, which have "ly" in it, and they define the verb, how the verb is taking place, like it's happening slowly, carefully, frequently. We talked about articles just today, a, an, and the. Talked about demonstrative words or phrases, which would talk about the distance, singular and plural, this, that, these, those. We talked about quantifiers, some, many, a few, or just few. And we talked about distributive, every, each, all. These are the definitions of these, but what you really want to do is make sentences and practice. So here's a quick exercise for you. Based on all these definitions that we learned today and in previous lessons, and if you haven't seen them, please do view them. They're all in sequence on our channel. Check out these sentences. Can you identify what words here are adjectives, adverbs, articles, demonstrative, quantifiers, and distributive? Check them out in these sentences and comment down below. I'll correct you if you're wrong. Next class is going to be preposition, and that is a very important lesson. So please do subscribe, like, and share. We'll talk to you very soon.